Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Angela from Angela Wolf Video, and today is Tuesday, so that means it's Video Tech Tuesdays. I am coming live from Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And I'm trying to keep an eye on all of my fun little places that I'm hanging out. So please, if you have any questions or any comments, make sure you post them in the comments below. If you are rewatching this later on, no problem. Make sure you just do the hashtag replay so I know I didn't get a chance to answer your questions live, and I'll be sure to answer them next week. So, every Tuesday, as I'm sure everyone already knows, because this is our lucky 13th episode. So, we talk about tech specs and gear. We do it live so I can interact with people and explain things if you have any questions. Plus, it's just kind of fun and something different to do it live versus like the pre-made posts I do on Thursdays for my blog. So, that being said, let's get started. All right. So today, what are we talking about? As you can see, I'm wearing a mask, and that is the theme of today, is talking about how to safely, or as safely as possible, film during COVID. Now, in the very beginning of COVID, everyone had this idea that it was only going to happen for 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks, we were going to be done, and we could all go back to normal, and life would be grand, and that was 5 months ago. So now, as things are starting to open up and regulations are starting to lessen, people are wanting to get back out to film, especially for like branded videos and marketing videos where you're going to be talking about, telling your customer base, hey, we're open. You can come and use our services. You can come to our restaurant, anything like that. So right now is a really good time to be putting out video content, but you still want to be doing it safely because, as we know, COVID's still kicking around right now, and we are nowhere near the end of it, unfortunately. So today I want to talk about the safest ways to kind of bring people in to do an in-person video. I've been asking to do a few of these recently, and so I made sure to get Safe Set certified online. And I thought I could share some of that knowledge with everyone and make sure that whether you're hiring someone to come and film for you or you're going and filming, just to keep everyone as safe as possible, because we want, at the end of the day, that's like the number one goal, right? So, number one in my list of things to try and keep everything COVID compliant and safe, we're going to want to keep it small, all right? So, you want to pare down the cast and the crew and whoever's going to be on set as much as possible. All right. You want it to be bare bones style. Want to make sure that the people that are there are all being used efficiently and their time is being used efficiently. All right. Before anyone comes, you need to make sure they all sign COVID agreements. Now, this agreement not only helps protect you and your clients from getting sued if anyone gets sick, God forbid, that's obviously worst case scenario. But the main part of these COVID agreements is that you have someone go through a checklist. Have you had a cough in the past 2 days? Have you traveled to a high-risk location in the past 14 days? Have you seen anyone who has COVID symptoms in the last 14 days? You go through a checklist and make them check no, 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 no. And if they say yes for anything, you can't have them on set. You have them sign it so, they say, yes, I'm being truthful. I haven't had any COVID symptoms. I haven't seen anyone with COVID. And that way, it kind of helps make people think about it, because you don't necessarily always say like, oh, actually, a week and a half ago, I met up with someone and they were coughing all the time. But you know what I mean? Like you want to make sure people are really thinking about that before they just show up on set. Then, of course, when people arrive, you have to require masks. Everyone should arrive with a mask. It doesn't help if people show up without a mask and then while they're talking with everyone, they grab a mask and put one on. That's not very helpful. They have to arrive on set with a mask. They must keep the mask on at all times, unless we're doing a lunch break or if they're the talent. So again, like having a mask on, having it under your nose, no. We know, do not do that. Has to be above your nose. I kind of have like, I put like a metal, actually like I roll up tinfoil honestly and put it at the very top of my mask so I can pinch it against my nose. That helps keep my glasses from fogging up, and it really helps kind of like keep it on my face. So it has to be above the bridge of your nose, has to go under your chin, and you have to wear it at all times. Just like that's a good like life lesson right now. Just tip. Anytime you're outside, that's how to wear a mask. So we make sure everyone arrives with a mask on. We make sure they keep their masks on. Now, when everyone arrives with their masks, you're going to want to do a contactless temperature reading. Now, be very careful when you're buying a contactless thermometer. Because there's such a high demand for them, there's a lot of fake ones out there on like Amazon. It's really easy to get one that doesn't work right. So I actually bought one for a shoot, and I have like a regular, like an old school under the tongue thermometer. So at home before the shoot, I tested it and compared the old school thermometer with the thermometer reading of the contactless, and the contactless was way off. Every time I did it, in a 5-minute period, I got a different temperature reading on myself, and none of it matched what the old school thermometer said. So just be really careful. And I would say, make sure you get it from a reputable resource, and then be sure to like just double check it before you bring it onto set and think everyone's, doing great. No one has a fever. And then we find out there was something wrong with the thermometer itself. So you want to take everyone's temperature to make sure that no one's running a fever that day. Unfortunately, depending on what part of the country you're at, getting an actual COVID test can take a long time. If you're doing regular filming with a large crew, that would be a great thing to do, is require people to get tested. The problem with, especially people I know in Philly getting tested right now, it can take like 2 weeks for you to get your test back. And at that point, it's like, we don't know if you could have gotten COVID in the past 2 weeks since your test. So it's not super helpful. So you definitely want to make sure, regardless if people are getting tested or not, you still need to be taking their temperatures. You still have to be doing the COVID agreements, because you just don't know what happened between when they took the test to when they're showing up on set. So, for the actual shoot itself, if you can, film outside. That's going to be ideal. That's going to keep everyone the safest. But I know outside shoots can be difficult. They can have a lot of their own problems. They're weather dependent, and sometimes it just doesn't work for the shoot. So that's like, if you can, that's the good go-to, is to do it outside. If you can't, totally fine. Here's some more rules for if you're doing an inside shoot instead. If you have a larger group of people, and large is kind of like, is not really a great word. I would say if you have more than 10 people on your cast and crew, you're going to want to do everything in shifts. All right. Regardless of how many people are there, you definitely want your crew to come before the talent comes. You want the crew to do all of their setup. And if, again, you have more than 10 people on that crew, you're probably going to want to do, have all the lights get set up, only have your gaffers go in, only get that department in. They do the setup, they get out of the space, you send in your camera, right? So you want to do like departments at a time if you have that big of a crew. If you have a much smaller crew, you can kind of just send the crew in at a time, have them do all the setup, and have the talent arrive later in the day. One, the talent will like that because they're not just sitting around, not doing anything all day. But then two, that's just less time that people are interacting and less time for anything to happen, really. For your producers or your clients or, whoever is in charge for the shoot, who's approving the content, asking the questions, kind of reviewing what's going to be, said or talked about in the video. If they're not on camera, do it virtually. Set up a virtual video village. For a couple of my shoots recently, what I did was I actually live streamed with Zoom. I set it up through my camera, live streamed to Zoom, so that the producers who were not even in the state could watch the video, see exactly what's going on my camera, hear exactly what's going on through the audio, and be able to say, hey, like, I didn't like the way they answered that. That wasn't quite on brand, or, oh, I have this question I want them to answer. So it was a wonderful way to like pare down who was on set, but still keep everyone involved in the like decision-making process. So that just goes along with, just bare necessities while you're actually filming. Usually you're going to have, your talent's probably not going to be wearing a mask for a lot of these shoots. So you want to make sure the like only people on set, like, sorry, PAs, you got to kick out the PAs, right? You're going to kick out anyone who's not actively doing something on set. Have somewhere outside that they can wait. Have them wait inside their car. Just have them, near the location, but away from anyone else so that they are ready to go when you need them. But if they're not actively doing something in the middle of the shoot, they should be sitting out of the set. And again, because the talent usually doesn't have masks on, make sure the crew stays 6 feet away from them. Make sure the talent stays 6 feet away from other talent as much as possible. For lunches, do a box lunch. You can't do a catering where like you put everything out buffet style. Everything has to be prepackaged. Same with like coffee, waters, anything like that. It has to be prepackaged. Panera does a wonderful box lunch. Not to like be promoting Panera, but if you're looking for something like that, they will do like sandwich, chips, and cookie all in one box, and then send you a whole bunch of boxes full of that. And that way no one's touching anyone else's food. You're going to have to do like bottles of water, bottles of soda, bottles, instead of like something everyone can pour out of. So nothing communal when it comes to food. You want to have lots of hand sanitizer everywhere on set, right? So hand sanitize before you touch gear and after you touch gear. You just want to make sure everything is clean as much as possible, especially things that multiple people touch. For your microphone, lavs aren't going to be ideal in this kind of COVID situation. You're going to want to be using a boom mic. But I also know that like sometimes boom mics aren't ideal either, especially if you went the outdoor filming route. Filming outside with a boom can be like a headache and you're going to want to maybe use a lav. What I actually have been using are Instamics, and they are this big. They have magnets to connect them, which is wonderful, and they're self-contained, so there's no wires. And they have a plastic outer coating. They're like semi-waterproof. So I've been using those because I just wipe them down with a Lysol wipe in between uses. And I can also, they're so little and easy to use, I can hand them off to the talent, have the talent mic themselves, and then control the whole thing from my phone. And that way I'm not going up into someone's face. I'm not trying to put something on them. And like I said, I'm easily able to sanitize it in between the people I'm using it with. So that's kind of my go-to if you're using a lav. If not, a boom is really preferable in that kind of a situation. And lastly, just keep really good records of who was on set that day. When did they arrive? When did they leave? And that way we can kind of, God forbid someone gets sick, you can go through the list and say, all right, these are all the people who were on set at the same time with that person. We need to have all of them go and get checked. So unfortunately, there's no way to say like, we're absolutely 100% golden. There's no way anyone's going to get sick. There's no way we can do that. And this pandemic has been quite the strain on literally everybody in the entire world, right? I'm not going to downplay it. So if we take these precautions when we're going back to work, when we're going back to create videos, whether you're a production company creating videos or you're a corporate company creating videos, it's just really important to try and keep everybody safe as we possibly can in these situations. So that is all of my tips and tricks for keeping a film set as safe as possible during COVID. Again, it is what it is right now, and what I've been doing with my clients is a combination of in person filming with, again, virtual video village for the producers or for my clients. And then just one talent at a time on set with just one camera operator, making things very easy, small, and simple. So if you're thinking about doing video for your brand and for your company, I would suggest giving me a call. It's bit.ly/callawv. If you're on Instagram, you can check it out on my profile in my link tree. It's just sign up. It's my Calendarly link. It's a free 30-minute talk on the phone. Give me a call. Just sign up for a time. Like I said, it's free. We'll talk about your project and see what you might need, what you're thinking about for branded videos. And now maybe you're not like at that stage yet. You're like, oh, I'd like to do a branded video. Or do I? Right? You're kind of like, I think I want to, but I don't know what I should do. Go to bit.ly/AWV checklist. Again, it's on my link tree if you're on Instagram. Go to the checklist, download it. It's absolutely free. It's a branded video checklist. And so it goes through all the questions you're going to ask in pre-production. Like, what kind of video am I going to make? What is the content? How long is the video going to be? Where am I going to be posting the video? So all of these are going to help you kind of like narrow your focus and figure out if this video is going to be something you can do by yourself in-house. Is this something you need to hire a professional for? Is this something that's going to be like a huge production that you didn't think about? Or is it going to actually be like really small and easy and something that you can start working on next week? So that's basically what the branded checklist does. And like I said, it's free. Just go and download it. And other than that, I think we're done. This week's a little bit shorter. But please tell me, what questions do you have about video production, about tech spec and gear, all the fun stuff, nerdy things I like to talk about. Let me know. Either put it in the comments or DM me on Instagram. Let me know what your questions are about video, and I'd be happy to include it in our next Video Tech Tuesdays. So until then, have a great week, everyone. Please stay safe and please stay healthy and wear your masks.